Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rebuild, where we talk about surviving and thriving in a time of crisis. With us here today, we're honored to have Andrea DeGasperis-Ronco, the president of OPUS Homes. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So everyone, throughout the GTA, OPUS is known for building homes which consist of fine architectural features as well as OPUS signature finishes that stand out across all communities. Each home they build reflects quality, practicality, and refinement, built with care for both the environment through their Go Green program and care for communities through their Families Helping Families program. Once again, everyone, we're so happy to have Andrea here with us. So Andrea, you know, we talk about everything going on with businesses from small to large size enterprises throughout this crisis. So we're so happy to have you on here to share your experiences. Let's start from the beginning of this pandemic. When you found out about the pandemic, what was going through your mind? Like, what was your initial reaction, and how did you guys just start dealing with this?
Well, you know, we share so much care for our clients, our team as a whole. And so really what went through our minds at first was, what's going to happen to our clients who have purchased homes? Are they going to be able to close? Are we going to be able to continue construction so that we can finish the homes for these families so that they can move into them? Because, you know, rents are coming due. People had already sold properties and we're looking to our homes to move into. So it's just our concern was really keeping that supply chain going and everybody moving as best as we could so that we could close these homes for our families. And at the same time, working with these families who maybe were having a little bit of difficulty during this time. I mean, there were so many people who lost their jobs and were laid off and, you know, were a little hesitant to close homes. So it was important for us to take each case on an individual basis and help people through this struggle. And we certainly took a compassionate approach to it and tried to help families. I think the other concern that I had was making sure we didn't shut down to the extent where we had to lay off employees. So we were fortunate enough that we kept, you know, everybody on payroll, everybody working from home during these times, so that we could just, you know, help people feel a little bit more comfortable, our team and clients alike.
That's great to hear. So you guys really adapted to accommodate your staff, it sounds like, and continue operating safely, which is great. Can you tell us some of the modifications you made at your place of business, on the job site, in order to, you know, keep the wheels turning while also, modifying safety precautions?
Yeah, for sure. So within our office staff, we got everybody laptops so that they can remotely connect into the office. So for weeks, actually months, there was nobody at all in the office. Everybody was working remotely, and you know, we were meeting on a monthly basis, and we were talking daily through, you know, the Microsoft Teams program that we have in place. So it really was amazing that we could all still stay so connected while we were all working from home. On the construction sites, it was a little bit different. It was still work somewhat as usual. We had to cut back the amount of people or trade persons working in each home. Our site staff were extremely cautious in their dealings with our trades, keeping that, you know, social distancing in place. But we had to ultimately continue construction because it's not like the world had shut down. And like I said earlier, people were still relying on us to close their homes. So although we were working at a slower pace, we were still working to achieve those closing dates for families who were relying on us in a safe, distanced manner. We implemented a number of digital programs. Actually, this really made us, this whole COVID, I think, really benefited us in how we work more efficiently now, because we now have, from a safety protocol standpoint, on our sites, when our trades enter our sites now, they have to fill out a digital questionnaire to make sure that, you know, everybody is safe and healthy, and they have to log out once they leave the site as well. But from a workflow perspective, we've actually transitioned. My biggest concern in dealing with clients and planning ahead, you know, from months from now, once things were back, we didn't want such a backlog of clients who were supposed to have come through our decor studio who now weren't able to because of COVID. And so we wanted to make sure that once the spring hit, or once it was safe to start construction full steam ahead again, that we were going to be able to hit the ground running. And so we created, Kim was instrumental in this, who's our decor studio manager, in creating a whole online platform for our clients to do digital decor appointments. And so throughout that time, we were conducting, oh my gosh, hundreds of appointments for our clients digitally from the comfort of their own home. They had a great product library that they could go through to view all the extras that we have, and take their time going through those items. I think the biggest thing that surprised me during all of COVID was the number of clients or number of potential home buyers out there who were reaching out to us to want to buy homes during this time of uncertainty. So we quickly pivoted, and we have a really personal approach with our clients. We want them to come into our sales office. We want them to feel what it's like to be dealing with an OPUS team member, and what it looks like to buy an OPUS home. And so for me, I was very hesitant to be selling homes online, but there was clearly a demand for clients to want to do that. So like I said, we quickly pivoted and had a whole online digital program. We sold 30 homes in a matter of 6 weeks. We unexpectedly, we didn't anticipate to do this. We kind of thought we would just kind of quiet down during COVID and relaunch our communities once things were back up and running. But it was great. I mean, we were face to face like this with clients, through the computer, but inside their homes, getting to know them. And, our sales team did an incredible job in doing that and maintaining that close personal contact without being close and personal sort of thing.
Wow, that's excellent, Andrea. So not only did you accommodate your staff, you accommodated your clients, so they could continue to have the same experience when buying an OPUS home. And you mentioned that the market itself is doing well. And we spoke a bit about that before we went live here. What is it that you think has maintained the industry? Because it seems like the industry is still doing very, very well. What do you think the factors are?
It is, and I really think it's a matter of supply and demand. There's not a lot of supply out there right now, and there's a lot of people moving and needing to move, and so it's just a lot of pent up demand right now, and just not enough supply. I mean, for the period of COVID, we weren't able to get any permits out of any municipalities, right? Because they were all shut down. So everything's kind of gotten delayed on the construction standpoint, for which we've communicated to all of our clients up to this point that most of our builds will be delayed slightly, based on what we had experienced, as much as we could do as a company to keep things going and keep the motions going. There's definitely a supply chain issue across all industries, not only the home building industry. And the good thing is throughout this process, we've tried to communicate as much as we could with clients to keep them abreast of the situation, so we weren't just springing on them last minute that their home was going to be delayed, or that whatever circumstances may have arisen.
So let's talk about that, actually, the output. So how did your output change? Because obviously you've had to make modifications. It wasn't business as usual, but you did a great job of making business continue as close to usual as possible for your staff, for your clients. What did change in that regard, and how has that, continued forward as we're starting to kind of, see the end of this, the light at the end of this tunnel sort of thing?
So we're at a point in time where we are full steam ahead. We have closings to meet. So we've made our slight delays with our clients. We have closings to meet now. We're full steam ahead. Unfortunately, we're still having, a couple of supply issues with lumber or different materials for the homes. But for the most part, our team has jumped on the technology bandwagon. We're, continuing to move. I think everybody, for the most part, in many industries, are eager to work and eager to get back to regular life. And so that's what we're doing. We have our clients in mind, closings to meet. Our team, they're great and busy and probably busier than they want to be right now. But we take this industry, we know this industry is very cyclical. So when things are good and when things are busy, we continue going. We still have a number of projects planned for this coming fall and in for the spring. So we're looking forward to opening those. Again, just, taking consideration into design of sales offices and how we need people more spread out apart. And are we going to be doing online appointments versus being face-to-face with clients? But we're looking forward to a busy fall ahead and spring of next year. Hopefully everything stays all right.
Well, no surprise here. You guys are rock stars over there at OPUS. So I'm not surprised to hear that you guys are just moving along, business as usual now, or as close to as usual, and continuing to succeed as you guys always do. You guys do great work. You have great products. Now, the next question is something I really like to get into. It's almost, for the future, trying to tell the future and like what everyone's thinking as far as like, the quote unquote new world or post-COVID world. And lessons learned in business. And I mean, we've learned a ton of lessons ourselves that we're going to apply probably moving forward for the rest of our careers. So what are some potential lessons that you guys are learning or have learned? And how do you see, your industry, your company operating post-COVID related to what you've had to learn and realize throughout this pandemic?
So I think the one positive thing to come out of COVID is that it's taught us to be more efficient with our time. We spend so much time driving to different meetings, and when we can be doing this over the computer very efficiently, either the comfort of our own office or even working from home, it's made us very adaptable. I mean, like I said before, we like having that personal approach with our clients, but we found actually, usually what we do at the beginning of every community when we sell homes, we create these workshops for our clients where they come in for an evening and we do a whole presentation for them. Well, a couple weeks into COVID, we had canceled actually one of these workshops that we were supposed to have. So we decided to go digitally, and we had a 93% attendance rate to this workshop, where usually we have about 50% of our clients who attend this workshop. So I think there's a lot to be gained. People love technology. It makes our lives simpler. It makes our lives more efficient. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway, that the use of technology has really improved the efficiency of our company. And it's made us see that there's, a lot of time that's wasted sometimes in necessary travel that we don't need to be doing and making.
Andrea, that's a very good point. I mean, we're realizing the same thing, and a lot of the other guests we've had are saying the same thing. They're learning how to be more efficient because essentially it sounds like a lot of companies have been forced to operate more efficiently, and now they've found those areas where they can continue that efficiency into the future as well. And there's so many different aspects to how that efficiency is going to translate. In your case, in your example, time factors with travel and just tighter meetings, hard stops. A lot of this stuff, being in a crisis, your time is more valuable and far more, limited. So I can see how that would definitely translate into realizing where you guys can make up time.
Yeah, and one of the downfalls, I think, though, with this technology is the fact that now we're connected all the time. So we're expected to be connected, even more so. We all knew we were connected earlier, before COVID, but now it's just, personally needing to take myself away from the computer to remember that I have 3 young kids and a family here that I need to devote time to as well. But you can kind of get trapped into that, being on technology all the time and working all the time. So that's kind of the opposite side of it, right?
Yeah, well, let's actually also talk about that, because that's a good point. Because although a lot of people have realized how to be more efficient and use technology to their advantage for business, I think in all this, a lot of people also realize that, there's a time to kind of turn off as well. I think a lot of people, faced with such a dangerous situation and crisis, and a lot of people were very fearful. I think a lot of people did kind of like get back to family and really take that time to really enjoy every day. Yeah. When you have that sort of situation and fear, I think a lot of people were just trying to like find that, right? So let's talk about that. Like, did that apply to you? And like moving forward, I think people are going to like be more efficient at work so that they could still have some more time to enjoy like life and their families.
Well, I'll tell you this, honestly, COVID has transformed me and the way I want to live my life moving forward. Now, I say I've been on the computer a lot, but prior to COVID, we were just in this cycle of bringing kids to activities, coming home, going to work functions, and you're constantly going and you're constantly moving, and you don't really realize that you actually can't breathe because you're doing all of these things. So you're just in this hamster wheel going, living every day, and you're busy and you can't stop. And then COVID happens and it brings you back to what's important in life. And that is your family. And you should be spending time with your family. And so I've made a conscious effort now to not do everything that comes before you. We can't do all those social engagements. We can't attend all those functions. It's just, we could, but do I want to? I don't want to. I want to change my life. I mean, I want to change it so badly. I got a dog. My kids have been bugging me for the past 5 years to get a dog. And there was no way I could imagine getting a dog in our family, right? So me, like hundreds of thousands of other people, got a COVID dog. And, but I really hope that that's going to be a reminder to me, this one little pup, that COVID happened and it was an opportunity for me to change the way we dealt with our lives on a weekly basis. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to forego, certain engagements and certain things, but I think I needed this time to realize that I needed this change in my life, because it was unsustainable how the level I was working at before.
Absolutely. And that's a common story with a lot of different individuals, businesses, entrepreneurs, even myself, just like finding that positivity in a situation, how to find that opportunity and take away from a crisis and apply it to your life moving forward. And that's essentially what this vlog is all about too, just trying to, focus on the bright side, focus on the positive and the negative, and how you can, be resilient and come through. So it's great to hear that you're also applying it to your family as well. And like I said, a lot of other people are doing that as well. But Andrea, thank you so much. This has been a great chance to catch up with you, and maybe we'll check in with you down the road as well as we continue to go through this and prevail and come out of this. We can maybe check and hear some more of your stories, because I'm sure a lot of the viewers are learning a lot from your situation, and hopefully can apply to their own situations to succeed in this crisis as well.
Thanks, Mike, for this opportunity, and I wish everybody well.
Thanks, Andrea. Everyone, Andrea DeGasperis-Ronco, the president of OPUS Homes. Tune in next time.